Welcome everybody. It is 12 o'clock and we're going to go ahead and get started. We are so excited to be able to resume our Stay Connected weekly webinars, and I'm so happy to see your faces today. Many of you got to see you a lot last week at the conference over Zoom, and we're just really glad to be able to connect with you again already. So we're going to start having our webinars every Thursday, 12 o'clock, and we'll have our schedule posted on the Stay Connected website. We are still building our fall schedule, but we are really excited about today's webinar. The Get Connected conference last week had several themes, and one of them was equity and inclusion. And all of you who attended the conference received an audiobook that focused on this topic, and we're so happy that Jan Handa and Leslie Huerta with Francie and Finch Bookseller are able to join us today to talk about the text and provide some resources and information about starting a book club. So thank you for joining us, Jan and Leslie, and we'll let you take it away.
Thanks, Kim. I am really excited that we're able to share with you today and continue the conversations that got started last week during the conference. That was one of our goals when we made the decision to provide every single attendee with an audiobook link so that they could, or a code for their audiobook, so that they could listen to this book, The Other Wes Moore. And I'm going to share my screen here. Just a second. I was supposed to click a button that I didn't click, so let me do that. There we go. So I recognize from your names, I believe everyone that's on this call participated in the conference. So you should have received an audiobook code through the email from Sherry Landis in the last several days. Some of you who were the early people registering, you might have received yours right before the conference. So if you haven't located that, look through your email for an email from Sherry Landis at nebraska.gov, and that will have your code. So some of you might have seen this, but I'm going to play a very short, it's less than 4 minutes, but a very short video that will give you just a sense of this book. If you haven't started listening to it yet, I think this will be a way to pique your interest and get you excited about what you will be listening to. So we're gonna take it away. We'll be using the chat here, and you can see in the chat, Kim did post the link to this video. I assure you it works. So sorry for all that craziness. Something else that we have posted up on our website, and I'm not going to go searching around on my website anymore right now, but Kim, if you could, we have posted the section out of your Get Connected conference program that had information about the book club. And so if you want to click on that, it's got discussion questions and lots of information about starting a book club. But I am now going to share my screen and go back to this kind of possessed PowerPoint that I've got going on here, and introduce Leslie here. Leslie is someone that I met just in the course of searching out where we could order the copies of, or the links for The Other Wes Moore. And so she has just been wonderful to work with and so accommodating. And so I asked her if she would be interested in sharing information with you about how you might now take this the next step, continue the conversation collectively with your staff, or just personally as you're listening to The Other Wes Moore and thinking through the themes that are in the book. We were very intentional about selecting this as the topic for the book club. We felt like the themes that ran through it were so apropos to the students that we're serving in our programs in after school here in Nebraska. And so we just felt like it was a good match, and it would be something that would really prompt some deeper discussions within your programs about the effects that poverty and diversity can play in the lives of your students and their families. So I'm going to turn this over to Leslie and let her lead us through the process of how you might go about starting a book club.
Thank you, Jan. And thank you so much for including me in this. I think I shared how impressed I was with the agenda you put together for your conference last week, and doing it all in this crazy Zoom atmosphere. You know, this is one for the history books, that's for sure. But, you know, with the pandemic and with all the social unrest, the book that you picked, and there are a lot of titles out there that address the things that we're dealing with right now. It's just so important, and I'm so pleased to learn that your after school folks are going to be listening to this book and talking about it, and it's going to help reach out to your the students that you connect with every day. I shared this kind of almost tongue-in-cheek with Jan, this slide here, 13 reasons why book clubs are saving the world. I think we all know that books save the world. There's no question about that. You know, the books make such a huge difference. But the clubs are a wonderful way to get people together that are like-minded or not, and to share and discuss the different topics that come up. I will let you know. So we're at Francie & Finch Bookshop in downtown Lincoln. I don't know if some of you might have been there. And so I learned about a lot of different types of book clubs that are happening. There's one in town that's been meeting regularly for over 100 years, from the Lincoln Women's Club. None of the original attendees are still there, so it's a generational thing. But yeah, they've been meeting for over 100 years. We have groups that meet regularly at a local beer craft bar once a month to talk about science fiction. We have corporate accounts, businesses that contact us for selections for their business meetings that builds camaraderie, and also they get a chance to talk about something that's important to their business, whether it's marketing or sales or technology. And a lot of just fun groups that meet right now with the pandemic. People are doing the Zoom thing, or they're meeting outside in their driveways and, you know, doing the social distancing thing. So they've continued, and they will always continue book clubs. I think this is a great opportunity for your communities to continue and decide how often you want to meet. A lot of the book clubs will pick one book and meet maybe a month later to talk about that one book. I think with your community, that might be better to break that into chunks and break it down into different sections. You do have the audio book, which is kind of nice because you know what you're up against. You know you've got those 6 hours, and you can cut those down into equal parts. So that might be a way to manage it for you. But 13 reasons why book clubs are saving the world. There's a couple of them in there that I wanted to point out. Number one, it brings people of all backgrounds together to talk about the great propellants of change, which we know are books, whether we're talking about audiobooks or print books. Jump to number 3, it really champions diverse thought and points of view. You get to read the voice of authors that are not always heard. I mean, there are so many books that are out there, and we can certainly help you find different ones, but it really opens up your eyes and your minds to a lot of different options that are out there. Number 5 is pretty important, that wine and cheese. It's not going to work in a lot of settings, but the refreshments are. I mean, it's a communal thing. People get together and they talk and they chat, and some type of refreshment usually kind of helps it process. It can be regularly scheduled, so you know that you have something to look forward to every third Wednesday at noon, or whatever schedule that you set up. How do I get to the next one here, Jan? I want to get to number 9. There we go. So number 9, you learn things from each story from your book club that you may not have noticed on your own. So, you know, that's definitely true. You'll be reading books that you might not have picked for yourself, but you're required to do this one, and you'll be surprised at how much you get from it from listening to the other people. Because it's not one that you've picked for yourself. So that's number 11. And then the last one, book clubs are truly uniting and not dividing. Is that so important today? I mean, that's a huge deal today. So I think you all know all of these things. It just was kind of a fun slide that I wanted to share with Jan to just reinforce the significance of getting together to talk about important topics and issues that are affecting us today. Do you all hear that? Oh, I love it. What did we have next on here, Jan?
Next, you were going to talk about this advanced listening copy program. This is a really exciting program that she's going to share with us.
Okay, so I don't know how do I want to kick this off. People ask me all the time in the store. We've got about 10,000 books in there, and we order pretty much every day. I'm placing new orders, and I'm really proud of the selection that we have. And people ask me all the time, how do you decide, what books you're going to stock? Well, there's a lot of different ways, but one is from the authors and the publishers, we receive advanced reading copies. So we get notification ahead of a release of the titles, and it gives us an opportunity to check out the book, to read it, to share it, to get some feedback, to decide if we want to stock it. Well, the Libro.fm, which by the way is not the counterpart, it's the competition to Audible, which is out there, but the difference is Libro.fm only distributes through independent bookstores. So they're huge supporters of those of us like Francie and Finch and all of the authors that we support as well. But they provide advanced listening copies to us. So we're able to know ahead of time what books are going to be released as audio, and we get them for free that we can download and listen. We have a program that we're going to share with you all, and you're all invited to participate to receive complimentary advanced listening copies for educators. So there's a link there on the screen, the Libro.fm/ALC, which stands for Advanced Listening Copy /program. And you'll click on that, and it'll walk you through a very brief application form. There's a drop down. You can select that you're an educator, and then it will ask for the name of your school or organization. And we're going to ask that you all use the same phrase here, Get Connected 2020 Nebraska Educators. So that way we'll just identify that you're all part of this group. Then you'll set up a free account on Libro.fm. If you don't already have one, you probably do if you've started the other Wes Moore book. And once a month, you'll receive an email from Libro with links to upcoming books that you can listen to. So I hope that'll give you some, and they're geared toward educators. I wish I could tell you what some of the ones were coming for next month, but they don't let us know ahead of time. But there'll be a nice selection that you'll be able to download and keep for yourself. So that's something we wanted to share with you, and hope that you'll be excited to check out the upcoming releases that are also available in print at Francie and Finch. But this program is specifically for the audiobooks. You're on mute, Jan.
Thank you, Leslie. Kim has been posting these links and this information in the chat. So this is one of those Stay Connected webinars where you're going to want to save the chat. So remember, if you at the end just click on those three little dots on the bottom of the chat box, that will save it to your computer. I really do encourage you after school folks to talk with your staff that have received the audiobook codes and make a plan for how you might be able to, as a group, go through the book and sit down and have discussions about it. We're committed to helping further those conversations as well. So I reached out to LaRon Henderson from Collective for Youth, and he agreed to do a Stay Connected webinar on October 29th, specifically around the other Wes Moore. So that would be kind of a nice goal out there, or deadline that you might want to put for yourself and your staff. If you could listen to it sometime between now and then, that would be a very engaging conversation, just like you would have in your own book club. But in a broader scale with LaRon facilitating it. So I really hope you'll put that down on your calendar and look forward to that. So do you have any questions for Leslie? She's an expert on this. So do you have any questions for her? You can unmute yourself or put in the chat anything at all about doing a book club or how you lead a conversation in a book club.
I have a question, but first I wanted to say I also put a link in the chat to the conference program, because there's about 5 pages in the conference program that are all about discussion questions and activities that you can use specifically for this book if you want to get a discussion started in your program. So that's worth checking out. The question I had is, how do we kind of pick the next book? If we start one with The Other Wes Moore and we enjoy it and we want to continue this idea of having a book club with the people we work with, how do you decide what to do next?
That's a great question. There's a link here in the chat also. It has a Libro.fm playlist, and it's a group of a collection of books that are anti-racist, social activism that are very timely today. So there's a list there, and again, those are available as audiobooks or also as print books. And we update them on our website also, so that will give you some ideas. And I'm also happy to send any recommendations over to your individual clubs as well. I will mention, I picked this up last week, same author, Wes Moore. If you're really enjoying The Other Wes Moore, you would appreciate, this was written afterwards. It's nonfiction, but he documents the 5 days in Baltimore during the riots in 2016. So incredibly timely. It was after the murder of Freddie Lake in Baltimore. But it's the same author, Wes Moore, so it lends itself to some nice connections to the first Other Wes Moore book that you're reading. There's no shortage of appropriate books for these discussions, so I'm happy to share those links. In fact, I could send them out regularly to you, Jan, some ideas if there's a vehicle to maybe just list them in your newsletter or something.
Sure. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
We would find a place. We have a website called Leading a Quality After School Program, and something like that would be perfect to post up there.
Yeah, and they have discussion questions and reading guides. So they're really some wonderful tools to guide you through, what to talk about and how to get it kicked off.
I really like the idea of using an audiobook for a book club too, because it really puts everybody more on a even keel for preparing for it. I know even within my own family, we've got 3 adult readers, but we all read at a very different pace. And I like the idea that we know that everybody can get through this book in a little over 6 hours because everybody's listening to it at the same pace. So I feel like it brings all of our staff, regardless of their reading level or their whether they like to read or not, they can still be part of that because it's an audiobook. And I think that's really powerful for having some great discussions.
I think another advantage of an audiobook is that you can multitask, so you could be listening to the book while you're taking a walk or gardening. I like to listen to things like that when I'm out in the yard. So that's another, I think, big benefit of an audiobook. In this case, yeah, and in this case, it's actually Wes Moore that is narrating it.
Yeah, along with Tavis Smiley.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or commuting, if anybody gets to leave their house these days when you're driving.
Does anybody have any other questions for Leslie? Or
I do want to say, and this is a little bit off topic, but I really have to say it. We're open to the public, and when people come in, I always ask them if they're young people, how's school going? If they're older people, are your kids dealing with school, because that's like that's the biggest challenge right now, is the school question. And without exception, they all are so appreciative of you folks that are on the front lines that are dealing with the situation in so many different ways. I mean, everybody's dealing with things. I just hope that you know how appreciated all your hard work is, and how meaningful it is, and that we, the public, know that. And I don't know that you hear that enough, but it really comes from the heart. And I do hear that from the people that come in the store, because we get readers that come into the store. We get people, you know, that get it. So I wanted to pass that on to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Leslie, and for taking the time to come on this webinar and share some resources here with us. We're really appreciative. That advanced listening copy program is an extra little gift, so we really do appreciate you making us aware of that. And just thanks.
Thank you so much. Jan has such enthusiasm for this text, and supporting you as you get a book club going in your program. And that time, that's great professional development. Your staff all listen to a common text, get together to talk about it, think about it, consider how it might impact your practice in your after-school program. So we really, really do appreciate it, and your kind words, Leslie, about the important work people do. Well, thank you to both of you. Thanks to all of you who joined us today. And next week, we are excited that Dr. Van Price with Lincoln Public Schools is going to join us. She was unable to join last Wednesday as part of our opening plenary session because of an emergency in her school district. And so she's agreed to come and talk to us about her thoughts and experiences regarding equity and inclusion. So next Thursday at noon, October 15th, and we will get this recording posted just as soon as we close caption it, if you want to make sure that others in your program have a chance to listen to it. Nice to see all of you again. I feel like we just got to be such great Zoom friends last week over the course of so many hours. So appreciate you joining today.
And one last thing I'll say, since you couldn't see or hear the little 4-minute video, Kim does have that posted. It's the very first link that's in the chat. So if you haven't started listening to the book, I encourage you to just take a listen to that. And I think you'll be really excited, and your staff, about starting the book.
Leslie, we'll see you in your bookstore hopefully soon. See all of you.
Thank you so much again for having
Nice
me.
to be soon. Thank
Nice
you.
to see you all.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thanks.